The influence of the Israel lobby on the U.S. government, a historical and political analysis. The relationship between the United States and Israel has long been hailed as unshakable. While rooted in post-World War II history, shared democratic values, and strategic interests, the alliance has also been significantly shaped, and at times steered, by the organized and highly influential pro-Israel lobby in Washington, D.C. This essay explores how lobbying organizations, particularly AIPAC, have played a central role in influencing U.S. foreign and domestic policy, the White House, and Congress over the past several decades. Origins of the U.S.-Israel relationship. Following Israel's founding in 1948, the United States was the first major power to recognize it. Yet, for the first 2 decades, the relationship remained relatively restrained. That changed dramatically after the 1967 Six-Day War, when Israel emerged as a regional military power and Cold War asset. U.S. military and economic aid began flowing in rapidly, alongside growing diplomatic support. By the 1970s, U.S. foreign policy became increasingly tied to Israel's security interests. The strategic alliance hardened during the Cold War, but lobbying efforts ensured it stayed just as strong after the Soviet collapse, long after most alliances had adjusted to new realities. AIPAC and the rise of the Israel lobby. Founded in the 1950s, AIPAC became the most visible face of what is often called the Israel lobby. With an annual budget in the tens of millions, a vast donor network, and close relationships with politicians on both sides of the aisle, AIPAC successfully shaped a narrative that equated support for Israel with patriotism and national security. AIPAC does not donate directly to candidates, but its affiliated donor network funnels millions into congressional campaigns, rewarding those who back pro-Israel legislation and punishing those who deviate. Members of Congress have repeatedly admitted, off the record, that criticism of Israel is a political third rail. Touch it, and your career ends. One illustrative case is the 2002 Iraq War. According to Mearsheimer and Walt, the Israel lobby played a key role in rallying support for the invasion. Israel saw Saddam Hussein as a threat, and lobby pressure helped create bipartisan momentum for a war that ultimately served neither American nor Iraqi interests, but arguably benefited Israel's regional goals. Influence over Congress and the White House. U.S. presidents, whether Democrat or Republican, have often found themselves constrained by the lobby's influence. George H. W. Bush, 1991, when he tried to withhold loan guarantees to Israel over settlement expansion, he faced enormous political blowback. "I'm one lonely little guy up against some powerful political forces," he said. AIPAC retaliated with lobbying efforts that crippled his support in Congress. Barack Obama, 2015, the Iran nuclear deal faced fierce opposition from AIPAC, which lobbied Congress aggressively to block it, even though the deal was seen by many U.S. security experts as beneficial. Obama ultimately bypassed Congress to secure the deal via executive authority, highlighting how difficult it had become to pursue a foreign policy not aligned with Israel's preferences. Donald Trump, 2017 to 2021, Trump's presidency arguably gave the lobby everything it wanted: recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, the Abraham Accords, U.S. withdrawal from the Iran deal, and support for Israeli settlements. Many of these decisions, while politically advantageous in pro-Israel donor circles, were criticized by former diplomats and intelligence officials as undermining long-term U.S. interests. Financial and military aid without conditions. Israel receives over $3.8 billion annually in U.S. aid, more than any other country. This money is provided without meaningful conditions, despite repeated violations of international law regarding settlements, human rights, and military aggression. In contrast, most U.S. aid to other nations is contingent on democratic reform, anti-corruption efforts, or human rights improvements. Israel remains a stark exception. Congressional resolutions to tie aid to specific conditions, e.g., halting illegal settlements, have been quickly crushed, usually within days, by lobbying pressure. Media and think tank influence. Beyond Congress, the Israel lobby has funded think tanks, media narratives, and academic voices that promote pro-Israel perspectives while marginalizing or discrediting critics. Figures like Norman Finkelstein, Noam Chomsky, and even Jewish voices critical of Israeli policies have often been excluded from mainstream platforms or smeared as anti-Semitic, a tactic that conflates legitimate criticism of Israeli policy with hatred of Jews. Conclusion: the influence of the Israel lobby over the White House and Congress is not absolute, but it is profound. It distorts U.S. foreign policy, suppresses open debate, and redirects American resources towards serving a foreign agenda. The danger is not in supporting Israel's right to exist, an idea most Americans accept, but in surrendering U.S. sovereignty, values, and interests to a network of foreign-aligned pressure groups. To ensure a truly democratic and independent foreign policy, Americans must ask hard questions about how lobbying works, where the money goes, and who ultimately benefits from the decisions made in Washington. No nation, no matter how close the ally, should have a veto over American policy.